Hi, I'm Phil Pustiowski with FreedomMentor.com, and in this video I want to share with you a magic real estate investing formula. You know, for years I have been asking myself the question, and you may have as well, how come some real estate investors become incredibly successful and others fail miserably? Would you like to know the answer to that? Well, for the past almost decade at this point, I have been training, coaching, teaching, and investing myself. And I have watched over thousands of investors, which ones have succeeded, which ones haven't. And I have developed some patterns. And so what I'm going to share with you is a formula whereby when you follow it to a T, you have a 100% success rate in my experiences. Would you like to know how to have a 100% success rate with real estate investing? Well, you can have it. In my experiences, from what I've seen, when you follow this formula, and it involves 3 key ingredients. So when you add these 3 key ingredients together, boom, you get success. All right, the first one of the 3 ingredients is you need the right education and mentor. Let's break this down. There are a lot of great books on real estate investing. I've written one, but there's a lot of great ones as well. And there's a lot of great courses, and there's a lot of great blog articles, there's a lot of great videos. And so the right education is critical. But in my opinion, from what I've discovered, the right education can only be gathered from having the right mentor. And here's why I say that. You can get a lot of great knowledge from all the books, articles, videos, courses, seminars, all can give you great knowledge. But when you get into the trenches of actually doing a real estate deal, let me tell you what really happens. Things are going to come up that can't be written in a book because the author could never have forethought what was really going to happen in that particular deal. And real estate is deal specific. Each deal is different. It's like a snowflake. So you have to have somebody who has had the experience to look at all the variables of what happened and where you are in a deal and say, okay, this is what you need to do next. Or from a different perspective, just where to get started based on where you're located in the country, your experience level, how, what kind of money, credit, if any, you have to get started, and all those other variables that go into where to get started. Because a lot of people have that problem too. You read all these books, you go to these seminars, you purchase maybe some courses, and then you get done with all that knowledge and like, where do I start? Well, that's another piece where the mentor comes into play. And I know what I'm talking about because I was there. I remember getting the courses, the books, and going through all that and being more confused. And I got a little secret for you. Some of the people out there that sell those courses, they want you to be confused. They do. Why? Because the more confused you are, the more you want to buy things. More information. It's a little secret right there, but it's the truth. So what you need is a mentor who can clarify for you. I've got a great video also on how to choose the right mentor. You may want to check that out because there's a lot of different variables in that too. All right, so assuming you have the right education, which came from having the right mentor, the second ingredient that you need is a burning desire to succeed. Burning desire to succeed. You got to really want it. I've read so many books on successful people over the years, and it is such a common theme. In fact, one of the big premises of the book Think and Grow Rich is about this. Burning desire to succeed. You got to really want it. You got to have a reason that is going to get you out of your comfort zone so you go do things that you wouldn't normally do. Talk to strangers, make offers, and all their things that go along with real estate investing. You're going to have some big why for when the real challenges of the real world come up. Because they are. And so when we're mentoring students, what we like to do is get down to the bottom of why they want it. Or help them build that burning desire. Why they absolutely have to succeed and they're going to stick to it until they do succeed. And that can be different for each and every person. Let me give you an example. I've dealt with people that literally the reason why they had to succeed was because it was, in one case, it was a wife who was in an abusive relationship. Her husband abused her all the time, and she wanted to get out of that life, and the only way she could is if she made enough money to be able to leave him. That's a crazy reason, right? But it was the truth. That's what happened with her. And then you have other people that their burning reason is so that they can feed themselves, like me when I first get started. Or maybe you're doing well and your burning desire to succeed is so you can have more time with your friends and family, more flexibility, because maybe you're stuck in a job that controls your schedule and you don't have the freedom you want. It's got to get inside of you. You got to have a passion and you got to want it. And you can tell I'm passionate about what I do. Because when you have that passion, you will get outside of your comfort zone. You will overcome those challenges that are inevitably going to come up because you want it more. Does that make sense? All right, so you want to think deeply about this. What is going to get your blood boiling? What's going to get you excited? What's going to get you to get moving and do what you have to do in the beginning to get it going in the right direction? Okay, the third thing you need is unwavering persistence. Persistence. You've heard that term. It's almost a cliche. But I got to tell you, real estate may be different than other businesses. In real estate, your biggest dollars, your biggest profits usually come a little bit later than you want them to. You have to stick around. You have to stay in the game long enough to see the fruits of your initial labors come to fruition. One of my coaches likes to use the phrase staying power. If you're in the game long enough, great things are going to happen. Because I picture real estate investing, when you first get started, as a flywheel. And you know what a flywheel is? It's a really big, heavy wheel. And when you first start trying to turn it, you're trying, but you're not really making much progress. So you push and it's not really moving much. Maybe that's where you're at right now. You're trying to learn how to invest in real estate and you're not really getting anywhere. Well, what happens is, as you keep turning that flywheel in the correct direction, slowly it starts to spin, and then it starts to spin some more, and all of a sudden it's almost spinning on its own inertia. You know, its own. And so what happens is you don't have to push all that hard, and it just keeps spinning. And that's where really successful real estate investors are at. And the way you get there is you got to stick to it. And that's what's so helpful here. You got to have this so that you have that unwavering persistence to stick to it. Now, there's something subtle about this, because a lot of people, if you ask them, you say, do you consider yourself a quitter? They'll say, well, no, I'm not a quitter. Okay, maybe you don't feel like you're a quitter, but here's what happens in the real world. We're in the information age. There are so many things coming at us. We have friends telling us about this business idea, that business idea. We have this coming from a Facebook ad, this coming from a Google ad. You have all this stuff coming at you, and that is what can derail your unwavering persistence. It's the seduction that there's a better deal somewhere else. Maybe it's stock investing, or maybe it's an MLM, multi-level, marketing company, or maybe it's starting your own franchise. There's so many different things that could pull you away from real estate investing. And that's the subtlety of this. It's not that you're a quitter, or anybody is. What we have seen over the years in training and teaching people is that they, quote, lose heart. They lose the heart to be in real estate, and they want to go write a book, or they want to go do this or do that. That is the real killer here. So even if you have the right mentor, even if you have a burning desire to be financially free, you could get seduced into going into one direction or the other. And what happens, that flywheel, is when you go in the wrong direction, it stops. And then you got to start pushing it all over again. And so that's what happens over and over and over again that I see. So you have to have an unwavering persistence to stick to it. And here's my belief. I've studied the small businesses in America. I don't think there's a better small business than real estate investing out there. For profitability, flexibility, the lack of tools, the lack of everything you need, you can make a ton of money with very little in real estate investing. That's rare. Man, if you want to buy McDonald's and make some big money, you've got to have some real change on you to get that McDonald's rolling, if you're lucky enough to even get accepted to get a McDonald's. So the point is, there is no greener grass, in my opinion, than real estate investing. It's right then and there. It's the best thing you could be in. And so you have to have the unwavering persistence to stick with it until you're successful. Because once you get there, then you'll think to yourself, man, that was a good idea. Gosh, I'm glad I stuck with it. That's the way I feel. Okay, so When you get these three things, you take the right education and mentor, you add that to a burning desire to succeed along with unwavering persistence, and I'm telling you, you get 100% success. It always works. I've never seen it not work. Not once. Every time people stick to it long enough with the right education and they want it bad enough, they succeed. It's really that simple. Of course, it's not that easy in real life because you're going to have a lot of things coming at you trying to seduce you away. You're going to have to make sure you got this desire and it sticks with you for a long period of time. It can't just be there one day and gone the next. And this is another challenge in and of itself, finding the right education and mentor. All right, well, I'm Phil Pustiowski with freedommentor.com. Check out more of our videos. Let me know what you think about this formula. Write some comments below. And thank you so much for being on this video.